All right, lads, welcome back to InsideMC, the podcast where I sit down with an amazing guest every single week. And as I like to call it nowadays, podcast banded about Minecraft, where we don't speak about anything Minecraft related. Kind of this week. Today, I'm joined with someone very cool. I'm joined with Checkpoint.
Hello, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
I am so good. How about yourself?
I am well. Excited to jump into this. I don't get to do many podcasts very often, so this is new ground for me.
Well, I'm going to be completely transparent with the listeners here, because I always like to be honest with them. I have been extremely unprofessional on the build up to this podcast. Checkpoint has said it's fine, but I'm not very proud of myself. I delayed the podcast by a day. We were meant to start recording 21 minutes ago, but instead I've just been talking about my life problems. And this is our first in my new couch, paying people bills. And this is the first time we've talked ever.
Yeah. I think we came to the conclusion that I'm going to take over. So welcome, guys, to the InsideMC podcast. Got Orbits with me today. What's up, man?
Oh, I actually thought of a really nice name that you could rebrand this to.
Okay.
Checkpoint Chat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to, as soon as you give me the password straight after this recording, I'm going onto the channel and changing everything.
This podcast is going to get uploaded and people are going to look at the channel and be like, why is it called Checkpoint Chats? And then they'll watch it and be like, oh, I see why. Well, before we get into waffling away, I always like to give the introduction for you to introduce yourself. So who are you? What do you do? And if you have a fun fact about yourself or fun facts in general, floor's yours.
All right, cool. Fun fact, it's like first day at school, you got to do like a little introduction thing. Well, my name is Steve. I run a channel called Checkpoint. Been doing it full time for maybe 7 years now. And Checkpoint is all about making our own stories in games. So in the videos, I play a character. I have a companion character. We have a villain. There's plenty of other characters, all of different, personalities and stuff like that. And we basically like to make Adventure Time or SpongeBob in Minecraft, as well as other games sometimes, which I'm sure we're going to talk about. Fun fact. Okay, I got a good one. I think this is probably a universal thing across all like content creators, but for the first maybe year and a half of making content, I didn't tell like anyone I did it. And the reason for this is because in school, I've like many YouTubers, I've had like channels in the past. I got absolutely ripped to this one channel I had. So I was like, right, that's it. Never doing it again, guys. You haven't got anything to like, prod at me with. And then I started obviously Checkpoint, didn't tell anyone because I wanted to come back once I'd gained some like a little bit of traction, some views, some subscribers, and basically say, in your face. But when I say like I didn't tell anyone, I didn't tell my mum, I didn't tell my then girlfriend at the time, now wife. Like
Ooh.
I literally waited until I had like, for my girlfriend in particular, I waited until I had like 10,000 subscribers or something, or like 15,000. I was like, yeah, got this. And then I didn't even tell my mum until I got like 100,000 subscribers. and it's funny because I knew my time was running out when I was visiting my mum, and my brother was there. And he was watching a video with me in it, but he didn't recognize it was me. And I was like dying. I was like, hey, Mum Monty, you got to turn that off. Let's go downstairs.
That's insane.
Yeah. And then that's why I knew the walls were closing in. So that's when I had to come clean and tell people. It was pretty much when I started to like actually, have it as a full-time job. I was like, okay, I'm going to have to tell people. And then I just told everyone at the same time. And went from there. So that's my fun, very convoluted fact.
I have a similar fun fact, which I've never talked about on a podcast before, if I'm honest. But
okay.
What is that about keyboard? Sorry, I just discovered a button exists on my keyboard and I got curious as to what it does. Done.
Oh, there's many of them.
Distracted. I know. Anyways, as I was saying, sorry. in school, so like yourself, obviously I've had channels in the past. I had this one channel when I was in like year 7, and these two kids who like I actually saw one of them the other day. I don't know if you recognize me or not, but regardless, they actually made like this one video and it got about 2,000, 3,000 views of them just absolutely like just flaming me in my channel because they were bullies.
No!
Like they were just straight up bullies. And it's straight up like the video is gone because what my mum did was like I found it. I got told about it. I found it. My mom downloaded it onto a USB and then reported it to the school. So like, I'm pretty sure the video is just like lost media now, which is obviously a good thing. But the video was deleted off YouTube. And so essentially like they fully like they doxed my name, my school, everything to like 3,000, 4,000 viewers. just like they were just bullying me basically. Like I got bullied really bad, and then so that was kind of like the end of my YouTube career very quickly in year 7. But
Oh no!
at the same time, like there's one channel that I always share. It's called Boy Gamer 909. That was the channel that I made before school. I must have been. I think I was like it was like 12 years ago. So I was like 10 in those videos. So it was, and I got bullied in secondary school, which as you know, being like English, you start when you're like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Anyways, to cut it short, in year 11, I started the Insane Orbits channel, which was like going well. It has like 40,000, just short. It had 40,000 subscribers. It's gone down recently. That was like my main channel for a very long time until I kind of ended up packing it in and focusing on this. But essentially, I started that when I was in year 11. No one knew about it. They ended up finding out about it when I left school, but by that point, it was too late because like I'd already amassed like 20,000 subscribers, and at that point, to them, it's like this is amazing.
Yeah.
Considering like one guy who like had like 10,000 subscribers used to go in every day showing off that like he had 200-300 pounds a month or something,
right?
For a 16-year-old, which just obviously being a YouTuber and knowing YouTube, that's just not true. You're not earning 300 pounds a month on 10k subscribers with like 5,000, 6,000 views a video. It's just
right.
Sorry, I'm really draining this out. Essentially, I hit the Insane Orbits channel. People found out about it, but obviously it was too late because I'd already left school at that point. And then now, like, I don't tell anyone. Like, I told one of my old work colleagues about the podcast because they said they liked Minecraft and they knew absolutely no Minecraft YouTubers, but they liked the game. So I said, I run a podcast where I talk to Minecraft YouTubers and sometimes variety YouTubers. And they'd heard of the Spiffing Brit, and I'd had the Spiffing Brit on the podcast at the time. So that was pretty like a big flex, if you must.
Dude, when you're in like taxis and stuff, what do you say? Because I straight up just tell people, like I just say like, yeah, I've got a weird job. I like make YouTube videos full time. Like I straight up just tell people. I don't say like, yeah, I'm into video production or I'm part of a production studio. I just literally just tell them straight up.
To someone who is just a regular person, and is what's it called, like just like in an Uber or whatever. I just say I'm a head barista because that's what I am. Like my full-time job is just head barista.
Okay,
So it's easier that way. But when I'm talking to my colleagues, like the majority of people will know this, and like I don't know how old you are. I'm not sure if that's something you want to share, but like publicly, which is completely fine. But essentially, like if you're my age, so I'm 22. If you're my age and working in hospitality, you either like don't have a side hustle because you just can't be asked, or you're lying, right? Like no one who works in hospitality at my age doesn't have a side hustle. When I talk to people and they're like, I don't have a side hustle, like I either like just unmotivated, which is no problem, like you can just live life like that, but 99% of the time I will be suspicious that they're lying. I won't force them to tell me obviously because they don't want to, but like at the same time I think when people ask me, I just say like I manage content creators because like I don't really per se, but at the same time I do. Like I'm not directly managing, but I am like getting people in videos and organizing scheduling and like giving a platform for people to promote themselves. So I just say like I manage my friend's podcast. That's like that's the answer I give.
That's smart. That's smart. Yeah, see, I don't have any like backups because I do this all the time. I can't just like straight up lie and just like
but the
come
thing
up
is,
with a new
like,
job.
I've talked about this to people in the past. I'm sorry to cut you off there. I had a content creator back in 2023 come on the podcast. Their name's Akko. They don't really do it too much anymore because they like have found like passion in the job that they're doing, which is like amazing for them. They still do it every now and then. They still go to Twitch on it. But we had this conversation and it'll always resonate in my head because they turned around and said, the thing about content creation is it's so hard to tell people you're a content creator unless you have the back end to prove it. Like, I am a content creator. I mean, the podcast has had some amazing guests on and you add to that resume, right? Like you do. So like it's proving that the podcast is somewhere, but at the same time, it's not even close to being full-time. Like I've gotten all these cool, like I think based on my guests' subscriber counts, I've probably amassed over like 100 million subscribers in guests.
Yeah.
For sure. And the channel has 7k. Like I can't, it's just more awkward. Like if I had 100,000 subscribers and this was my full-time gig, I'd be telling everyone about it. I wouldn't give a crap. I run a podcast, I talk to some of the most famous people in the world, blah 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 blah. But when you don't have the subscriber count to prove it, the 99% of the people are like, that's really cool, and they find it and they're like, oh my god, this is sick. Like I had a panel at TwitchCon, and I mentioned to you before that I was in Ireland over the weekend drinking. We went out with some of my family members and my dad got me to show the entire family the video the Wavebox took of all the people lining up outside, and they were all so cool about it. I mean, I didn't mind because they're not. To be fair, we were mainly drunk at this point, so none of them are going to go and search up the channel.
That's fair.
But like like you get what I mean. Like I feel like it's a lot easier for you. You don't really need a backup because you have you have 3 million subscribers. You for well have the back end to go like I'm a YouTuber. People search up and they're like, oh my god, 3 million people. And then when I'm like I'm a YouTuber and they search on my channel, oh you have 7k. Like cool, nice.
Well, I've got an example of this because I went to LA maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, and the American, I don't know if you've ever been to America or anything, but the American like
No, I haven't.
airport security, they're so weird. Like, so this guy's like, okay, what do you do? First of all, when you fly to London and stuff like that. Well, I guess I'm flying to a different country. Every country that I've been to before, no one's ever asked what I've done at like the security checkout or whatever.
They asked me why I'm there, but that's it.
Yeah, that's fine. Like saying, hey, what are you here for? That's totally fine. But this guy's like, what do you do? So I was like, oh, I make YouTube videos full time. Obviously, I'm not going to lie to like an official person.
Plus, what else would you say? Like, you can't, in case they ask for proof, you physically can't say anything else.
The man pulls up my videos and starts watching them on like the screen where he's supposed to be like, you know, viewing people's tickets and whatnot, or like, you know, checking people in, making sure they're going where they need to be going. He's just watching. He's got a Google Chrome tab open. He's just watching Checkpoint, and he's just silent. And I'm like, can I go through? And he just doesn't respond. He's just locked in to my videos. So, I mean, if you're out there, man, I hope you subscribed. I hope you're still around, because you seem to be enjoying it. You're ignoring me completely. So, but yeah, that's like my one event of someone watching my videos in public.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
Yeah, he was hooked. I must be doing something right. He was locked in.
When I went to TwitchCon earlier this year, so last year we got the Eurostar both ways, me and my partner. But this year we decided to fly there and get the Eurostar back. Next year we'll be flying both ways. But essentially we flew, and so because I had like I took some pins with me, and I think I had like 150 pins, 160 pins. So like my bag goes down the other side, and I've flown out from the podcast. I've flown out from that airport a few times. So like the security like kind of not to sound like a flex, like, oh look, I've flown out, but like I have, because I've been to like little holidays. So like the security know me. So anyways, we go through, and I get stopped to security, and I was like, oh, my bag's had this problem before because my portable charger it always seems to get flagged. And so it goes down the other side. I'm standing there for ages. Security won't let me bypass because obviously we're not like besties. And and then it finally goes through, and they're like, are you carrying a bunch of coins with you? And I went, no, they're pins. So she pulls one out, and there's like a pin in a stick, and she goes, oh. She's like, okay. She's like, what's this one? And I'm going to a convention, so like I'm handing much to the guy. I was like, do you want one? And she said, no, I don't. I went, all right, cool then. Like I so just don't give a shit. Like my girlfriend's standing behind me like laughing because I've just turned around to her like, do you want a pin? And she's like, no. I'm like, all right, my bad. Like, you know.
Oh my gosh.
But like I've had it in like as I mentioned to you, I work as a barista. I've had it like so many times where like I've had it one time, and obviously this just is gonna come off extremely egotistical, but I'm just gonna say because I don't give a shit. I was serving someone one time, and the way they were staring at me, I swear they knew who I was. Like I know I only have 10,000 subscribers, but I've shown my face a fair bit, and obviously the panel and stuff. I could have sworn the way they were staring at me as I served them, they knew my face.
Well, did they fit like your demographic? Were they like?
Oh, they
young?
were so a Tubbo viewer. I tweeted about it. I said I'm pretty sure I've just served the Tubbling, but I can't prove it. Like they were so a Minecraft viewer. I know they were. I just like, you know, that's why.
You've got to step forward now, whoever you are. You and the airport TSA agent, you got to come forward.
Oh no, this one was just a customer. The airport person was never gonna stay. They had no clue who I was. Gotcha. But this is like a different story. Sorry. Have you had any like? We haven't even gone into the interview. We've just been waffling about our lives. This is great. Have you ever had any moments where like you've been recognized in public, or you could have sworn someone recognized you but didn't say anything?
Not really, because obviously, like, if you see my channel, it's very much branded on the characters, not really on me, like, personally. I don't show my face very often.
Even your voice,
I've had a few, maybe. But honestly, when I'm outside, I'm just like not speaking to anyone unless I absolutely have to. I've had a few incidents where, okay, I'll just start. I don't know what to like define them as, but I'll just like say them. So one incident is, and this is quite a nice one. I've got a dog. I've got a golden retriever. I'm out walking my dog all the time. The parent is there, we get talking, and they've got their kid with them, and they say, what do you do? Then, as I've already said, I just straight up tell them, and then their kids are like, oh my gosh, yeah, I know you, or, oh, I'm gonna go view your channel when I'm back home, you know, that kind of thing. And then, you know, +1 viewer, it's good for me. I don't mind that at all. I've had some like really fun interactions. This person was like, oh, no, Preston plays, and I'm just like, yeah. My phone out was like contacts list. I was like, that's Preston right there. Obviously, I didn't dox you, Preston, if you're watching.
Just number, nice.
No, it was just like, you know, to show that I had it. The second incident, and this was an incident, at my previous apartment, I was on like the ground floor, so my window like was viewable out from the street, and I didn't realize it, but my YouTube play button was like visible. My like gold one was visible in the window. And I had these two kids like knock at the door, and they were like, are you a YouTuber? Are you a YouTuber? I was like, oh my God, my window, like they can see. So I was like, yeah, I am. I'd appreciate if you didn't like, tell anyone, that kind of thing. And they were really cool, and they were like really friendly and stuff. I just said like, nice to meet you guys. Close the door. They knocked again, had their phones out, and they're like, oh, let's get a picture, just in case you become big. And I was like, okay. So made sure I didn't
already big.
I didn't have any like discernible landmarks in the background, like plain white wall. Here's a picture. Off you go. And then I promptly moved my play button because that was like, I was like freaking out some of the members on my team, some of my friends. I was like, if they come back with the entire school, what if they're like, oh my gosh, Checkpoint lives at this address here, and like an entire school is to my doorstep. So I was freaking out. But one of my team members kindly said, maybe if you were like Logan Paul or something, like they'd care, but you're not. You're just Checkpoint. They won't care. And I was like, okay, fine. Humbled. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, those are the two incidents of kind of recognition, but more brought up on myself.
I'm gonna cut the name out for the podcast, and you'll see why in a second. Have you ever heard of the YouTuber?
Yes. Yeah.
You do. Okay. So my previous job before this, which I've now promptly left in a new job, they were a regular customer. Again, why I'm cutting this out for the sake of doxing, neither doxing both me or them. They're a regular customer. I actually asked them to come on the podcast, and they said yes. We just never ever got around to scheduling it. So I'm happy to keep that in because the podcast just isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Sadly. And it isn't. If any future guests come on, and don't be speculating, listeners, please, like they genuinely are, because I have no way to contact them now because I don't work at this job. Unless I asked like one of my old work colleagues because they all knew about him. He like was a regular like customer, came in, and I straight up just told him about the podcast. I don't think he subscribed to it, but like he looked at it, he was like, oh, this is cool, and like he was one of the people who I've mentioned like the Spiff and Brit name to, and he knew. So yeah, it was really like that was like my case of recognizing someone, but obviously like I'm a bit more mature to the point where like I didn't go around like tweeting about like, oh my God. Okay, I'm muting that part again. Nearly just did it live on the podcast. I didn't go around saying X person name is a regular customer, but yeah, no, he was like really chill. But the interesting
Minecraft stuff.
No,
or
no, he doesn't. He actually doesn't. But I'm also not going to say what he does just in case it does like
of course,
jot it down. But yeah, no, like he like the weird thing about it is always like I told him about the podcast after like serving him for the second time. He didn't come in for a while. Like it's not like coincidence. He just wasn't in the area. And then he started coming back in again, and it's like not that I expect him to talk about it, but he just didn't like talk about content creation once. And I feel like if it was the other way around and someone had recognized me, and then like I searched my name on Twitter and like there's nothing said about it, I'd feel really like open to talk to the person about it, like oh yeah, like here's what I'm doing, blah 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 blah. I mean, I'm not really a fan of the guys, so I didn't really bring anything up, but also I didn't want to come off like a fan because then that makes them stop coming back. It was just funny, like that's never happened to me before, so it's quite fascinating.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever really bumped into any like other content creators like in the wild. I'm just trying to scout my brain now for any occasions where like I've literally bumped into a content creator not at like a conference or something.
It turns out one content creator who I won't say, but in London, apparently they went to the same pub I went to not too long ago. We just never crossed paths, but we were chatting, and I said like like we did before the podcast, just chatting about like England and life and stuff. And it turns out like this person, like, at least from where I used to live, they lived like 10 minutes away from me, like the entire time.
Really?
I was watching a YouTube video of another guy who's now like really big, and like he said in like a name of where he used to live. I was like, he literally used to live next door to me.
Whoa.
And I never ever met the dude. Like not even before he was big. Like it wasn't one of those, and I was like, I just never ever saw the guy, and I was like, what are the chances?
Yeah. No, that's wild.
Anyways, that was a great talk. I love the thing about the podcast is right, and it's why I used to advertise invites as like, oh, I'd love to interview, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
To be honest, the podcast isn't really an interview. Like, yeah, I'm going to interview and ask you questions about your life, but to be honest, it's really just become a podcast where we just waffle away about stuff that like just whatever the topic of conversation is. So like we can like a lot of people, like it depends on who's coming on the podcast. Like it's like you followed the pod like Twitter. Actually, I want to ask, how did you find the podcast? Because you actually found me.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of people on my team that are actually in your like, I guess, within your like circle. For example, Bumpy Jake. I work with Bumpy Jake. Fee. I don't know if you know Fee. Basically, all you Minecraft, you all seem to know each other. And somehow I got I was on like Twitter, and in the little suggested thing there was like a little InsideMC thing. I was like, oh, what's this? Had a look, podcast. I was like, no, I don't do podcasts very often. I'm gonna follow this, and like just in case like they ever need someone. And lo and behold, here I am. So yeah, like podcast is something I want to like start doing more often because I realized that in my entire like YouTube, the extremely long time I've been on this platform, I've done like no podcasts. So this is a firsty for me.
Sorry
for
that
sure.
the first one you've come on isn't exactly interviewing you. It's more talking about.
Yeah, this will be my first and
conversation.
last. This will be the end of it.
I've ruined it for you. No, you were looking forward to going on a podcast, and your first one is actually just talking about getting recognized. And
yeah, no, this is So this is new ground for me. Something I've been wanting to do for a while. So figured may as well connect up and see where it goes.
I've said this before, and there's a reason it's not my motto, because again, it's another case of those scenarios where it comes off as really egotistical, but I don't care because I'm going to say it anyways.
Okay.
Like with the podcast, it's very much like now it's become a essentially a voice for content creators. So basically, what I mean by that is like when I first started the podcast, like I was very much trying to grow it. I mean, of course I still am, but like I always wanted to get content creators on, and at first it was just kind of meant to be a waffle. Then it very quickly became an interviewing podcast, and I took a big break and it came back, and I was like, you know what, I like the interview podcast, and I think you're the 100th, and you'll be the 184th podcast.
Tension is killing me. 184th?
It was 185th. That's why I left it so long. But it was 184th.
Okay. Woo! The big 184.
Yeah.
Everyone always waits for guest number 184. I've got the prime spot.
Exactly, see. And like you wouldn't believe the amount of people who have come on the podcast, and you can scroll through it yourself, like who have never been on a podcast ever. And,
oh, really?
Like, and if they have, it's been years ago. It's like it's kind of become this thing of like a voice for the creators, where like you can come on. And, I mean, even like if you choose to steer the podcast in a completely different direction, like away from interviewing and just talking about like the downsides or whatever. Like, you know, I've had people on the podcast before where like it starts off very interview for the first like 30 minutes, and then we just go into like this massive talk about like, I don't know, like a certain scene, or like what's wrong with Minecraft at the moment, or this or that. Like, I mean, we're 25 minutes into the podcast and we've been talking about like life scenarios, right? And we'll get into the interview in a second, but that's because that's where the podcast did. And right, as long as you work with it, it's completely fine. So
I think the best podcasts are always like natural conversations anyway. It shouldn't feel too formulaic, or else what differentiates a podcast from just a straight up interview? Like, we could put out the same information just in like written form, I guess. But that's why a podcast is so fun, because you just steer things wherever you want.
Yeah. It's like I said in the intro, it's like I've gotten guests on now who just aren't any bit related to Minecraft. I mean, recently, yeah, you have been, but beforehand you hadn't. Like you did a lot of variety content, and like that's what InsideMC has become. It's just become like this. It's brand Inside Minecraft, but it's basically like a podcast that I host every week. But instead of just having a co-host, my co-host is essentially the guest. And I absolutely love that, and that's why like I kind of touched on earlier, but I didn't fully say it, is the original invite message used to be like this really big like message of like, oh, I'd love to interview you to learn about this like I'd really try and sell myself, but I've taken up the advice that I gave to someone recently. So I have a friend, and I won't say their name just in case they don't want to be mentioned, but they're like starting this kind of like series. They won't care if I mention their name, but like I'm happy to reference it regardless, because they'll know I'm talking about them, and people who are friends with us will know that I'm talking about them. And essentially they've started a series, and like I said to them, like they're asking like, how do you get guests, or how do you get people to interact with it? And I said, like, the thing is, InsideMC hasn't got the back end. Subscriber wise, it hasn't got the back end. Guest wise, yes, it very much does. The only way I've been able to get these guests on is because I just act like InsideMC is like the biggest thing. Like when I brought you on, I saw you'd followed me, so I was like, you know what, like I looked at your channel, I was like, oh, this is great. I'd obviously heard of you before as well, so that was like a big selling point. And I just turned around to you and went like, yeah, like, would you like to come on? And I was like very confident. It wasn't like this, oh, please come on a podcast, like I'd love to have you, blah blah blah. It's like, this is what I do, this is what I want from you, are you interested? And like, act like it's the biggest thing in the world, and then people will come on because they think like, they're like, oh, this is sick. It's not like a fanboy or whatever. It's just genuinely like, this is cool.
I have that personal connection with things, like, and that goes up from like the smallest creators all the way up to like the biggest. Like I was out in Dallas like just last month at a conference meeting like super big YouTubers, and much better to go in as like with a personal touch rather than being like hi, my name is Steve, I do this, I do that, I have this many followers, this is my Instagram, this is my blah blah blah. It's better to form that personal connection, and then like later down the line you can look into work and stuff. But yeah, for us it was just like super quick. I just followed because I was interested. You messaged me, I was like, yeah, why not? Let me
actually check what I messaged you. Hold up. Let's see. I messaged you today. Hi, Steve. I noticed you followed the account. Was wondering if you'd be interested in coming as a guest. That's it. Like, I literally
That's it. Boom.
I literally just straight up said that. And because like I had the confidence. Like I backed myself to be like, yeah, this message is good enough to get you on. Like, not in an egotistical way. It's just the way I drive myself. And obviously, if you hadn't replied, then I would have sent like the follow-up message trying to convince you.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
it's just all about confidence.
Sort of,
like, even like, this sounds stupidly egotistical, but a content creator like at my size, like I still, when I send like cold emails to people, like I have to go in full confidence. I can't just be like, oh, I'm a big fan of like your brand. I'd really like it if we could, do this. I like, I have to go in and say like, this is Checkpoint. This is what we do. This is what we can do for you. Let's, do something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just part of the deal. Just being confident and believing in yourself, really, is what it comes down to. And if they don't respond, then like, it wasn't meant to be. You just move on.
I mean, the thing is, like, you like, I must be doing something right, because if you scroll through the podcasts, the guests are all insane and the views aren't. Like, if you look on YouTube specifically, so like, there's just got to be something going right there to like for people to keep saying yes.
I think it's just like, you've obviously like presented the podcast as something super casual, and like people don't want to go on podcasts where they're just going to be grilled about every aspect of their life and like how their business works and stuff like that. And I mean, what you do as well isn't purely podcasty as well. There's some stuff here like, what if Block or Civilization was Minecraft's fastest players, like stuff like that. Like
the do all think the same video is absolutely bang.
Yeah, inside the video, like that kind of thing. That's something that people don't get to experience very often. It's a peek behind the curtain. And I feel like that's what creator focused podcasts should be. They shouldn't just be like, hey, let's talk about how great you are for like the next hour. Like, people want to learn, get something from the experience of listening to the podcast. I think, yeah, like peek behind the curtains, learning about, even like life experiences like we've just discussed. It's all valuable in the end.
I'm sorry, just one more thing, and then we will get into the interviews. It's kind of just said that adding on to this point here.
The tension is killing me.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry to keep delaying it. Apologies. But a perfect example of this, and like I talked about on the podcast before with the person himself. So when I went to TwitchCon, which we'll get into that a little bit as well, because about that in general, like conventions. But when I went to TwitchCon, I like, my plan was obviously to be casual, but like TwitchCon 2025 was like the best and biggest TwitchCon I've ever been to, and I hope to top it again next year, but we'll see. Like, I had the panel, I casted the football match, this and that. Anyways, so I went into it and I was like, you know what, this is like the perfect opportunity to interact with creators who I haven't interacted with. So I'm walking around and like I was so confident to the point where like I went out to content creators and I had a chat with them and I never asked for a picture. They wouldn't have cared. I did not ask for a picture on purpose, right? In my head I was just like, you know what, I just want to go up and talk to people. I'm not really taking pictures this year. It's just my thing. As I'm walking down the path, I run into two YouTubers, so Pangy and Darapchu, if you've ever heard their names. And so Pangy had already been on the podcast and Darapchu was there. So I turn around to Darapchu, I'm like, hi, blah blah, like I run a podcast, and he literally turns around and he goes, oh, you're the InsideMC guy. And yep, I said, do you want to come on the podcast? And he went, yeah. And I apologized to him on the podcast, even though he found it funny, but I was just like overthinking it until we recorded. I turned around to him, I was like, add me as a friend now so that you don't forget. Like, that was literally what I said, which I shouldn't have said it like that, I'll be honest, but he didn't care. He found it funny. And
I think that's a fine thing to say.
Yeah, but also it just comes off as very like, I don't know.
It could have been more awkward. You could have been like, hey, add me as a friend and we'll connect, or something ridiculous. Like, like, it's fine, I think, to just say like, hey, just add me on Discord and we'll catch up.
Yeah, no, it's literally like, I said, I run a podcast. He went, you're the InsideMC guy. I went, yes, I am. He said, oh, sick. I was like, would you ever be interested in coming on? He said, yes, I am. I said, all right, add me now. And then he came on the podcast. And then like from TwitchCon, and I won't say the other names because I can't remember. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, actually. I talked to SB737 in person there as well. We'd already talked previously, to be honest, but I think us having a little chat in person kind of cemented like the podcast chances. So he ended up coming on the podcast as well. And I also talked to someone else who I can't actually disclose because they agreed to come on the podcast, but then weren't allowed for reasons, which I won't get into.
Oh, really? Wow.
Nothing bad. They just, I'm going to say it to you here, but I will mute it again. It's like one of those things. They agreed in the moment, but they couldn't, sadly.
Yeah, there'll be an NDA.
Yeah, which is completely fine. Yeah, but yeah, which is completely valid. But like I used TwitchCon to like really sell myself, and that's what like I really recommend people doing is like don't like I've said this to people before, and like and it's and I'm sure you agree with this. I'm sure you must have been to at least one convention in your lifetime. It's like when you go to conventions, everyone's there for the same reason. If Minecon ever comes back, which I think it should, but if it ever comes back, right? What's called like everyone's gonna be there because they're like Minecraft content creators or not, and content creators know that people are gonna approach them for pictures, for like. I was doing in-person interviews, if you've ever seen any of them. Whereas literally, I just went up to content creators and went like, I pre-planned questions for like content creators who I didn't even think I was going to see, which was true because I didn't see them even though they were there. Like I'd prepped like questions for like over 300 people, and I just went up to people and I was like, would you be interested in an interview? And they said either yes or no. So I got some pretty cool people on from that as well. And like, basically my point is we're all streamers there, we're all there for the same reason. Don't be afraid to approach people either like as a fan or if you have a cool thing in mind. Like if you really believe in your project and you sell it well, people will believe in it as well, and that's why you're here today, Jake.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with everything you just said.
Sorry, it's waffling away. This is fun. It's very rare I get to talk a lot on the podcast. Normally it's but I'm playing into you letting me talk on the Checkpoint Chats podcast.
Yeah. That's the excuse now.
Have you ever been to this is the interview part. Here we go. Oh my god. Have you ever been to a convention before?
I mean, I've never been to. I mean, I have been to like pure fan conventions, but this is like
Comic-Con.
Ancient. This is like EGX, which is ancient stuff. Gamescom. I've been to Gamescom, but this is like way before I was even doing it like full time. I've been to not necessarily a convention, but a conference, Vid Summit. I'm not sure if you've heard of Vid Summit.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, this is much more of like a kind of a professional thing rather than like fans and audience members and stuff like that, viewers. I hate calling them fans. I still don't like calling people fans.
I say listeners. I don't say fans. I say listeners.
Right, of course. Yeah, I always try to say views as much as possible, but I mean the fan experience, I guess. So lots of other creators there. You're just hanging out, discussing, strategizing, that kind of thing. But yeah, like I haven't been to like a Comic-Con or I really want to go to VidCon. I want to do VidCon, and I was supposed to last year, but I can't remember why I didn't. But I really want to do VidCon. And yeah, I'd love to, but I haven't been to like many of them for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because like as I've mentioned, like there isn't really like that personal aspect to the channel, or like if for whatever reason. I just haven't found myself at them. I would like to.
What about like kind of stuff like and that kind of leads into another question here is I know like the YouTube channel doesn't have a personal aspect, but how come you don't stream or anything to add that?
I think streaming takes a lot of time, and like you've got to be basically full energy for like hours at a time, which I just don't have those hours to spare. Like the YouTube content as it is, our recordings are like they can be like 5 hours long, 5 to 7 hours, like sometimes.
Jesus.
And like for me to like roll out of that and then go straight into like a Twitch stream, it just sounds like chaos. I was even thinking about this today, like doing some kind of stream, probably on YouTube more than Twitch, even though I am a Twitch partner for some reason. Like I could see myself doing like kind of like a behind the scenes, like, hey, this is just me and some team members just hanging out playing a game. No checkpoint-y stuff involved, just as like hanging out like once a week. I could see that happening, but to get there, we've got a lot of things that we need to sort out like production-wise, so the long-form content. And like that division, I like being able to sit down, record my content for ideally like, 3 hours is like our... We can't get lower than 3 hours. Like if I sit there for 3 hours and do this long-form recording and then get to go off and spend time with my, my wife and walk my dog, like I'm happy. But it's when it gets to those like longer ones where it's like, okay, this is getting a bit silly. Yeah, so if we can get everything like around that mark where it feels like it's short enough for me to get on with other things in my life, but it's also long enough to feel satisfying as like someone that really cares about their content and getting everything right, then yeah, I'd be down to do like a stream like once a week. It's definitely something that I'm planning on doing at some point. It's just got some other things to work out first.
Maybe the content's a little bit different, but I remember that's the same as like Jerome. He does like he streams with his team and then also does like videos with his team. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely possible. Again, it's different content, but it's possible. I mean, like, do you have an alt channel by any chance? I couldn't find one.
And sorry, did you say old or alt?
Alt.
And I have we've got a Roblox channel, but that's pretty much it.
I was gonna say like a Minecraft one for like different content. That could be one for streaming on. Maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Just throwing
again,
ideas at the
it's
wall.
just a big time. It's a big time commitment, and I would like to do it at some point, but I'd want to do it as kind of like a once a week kind of special. Let's hang out with the community kind of thing, rather than like pursuing it for like financial gain or like whatever reason. I just want to do it as like fun hangout thing because it probably boosts morale of team members. It boosts morale for me. Community would love it, I'm sure. But yeah, it's definitely in the works, but not right now.
Well, if you're ever looking for a podcast host section in one of your videos, and like
for
the team
checkpoint
just
chat.
aren't hitting the mark, yeah, for like a checkpoint chat segment in the video, I'd be so down to join.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Cool.
This is me shooting my shot live on a podcast. that way, then if it never happens, now people are gonna be like, wow. what
No,
the
I'll
heck,
be
man?
interviewing you.
I don't care what you do. If I get to be in a checkpoint video, I'm down.
That's funny.
No, like all jokes aside, it would be funny if you made like, and like, even if it was without me, like a video like similar to that had the name like checkpoint chats as like the segment. Like I don't know, like interview or I have a friend called Vercon who does like a series called Gummy Studios. It's like movies and stuff like that. They had like a little it's like an onstage, like do you know like the Hunger Games had the onstage interviewer?
Yeah.
Like that, and the name of the show could be Checkpoint Chats, not even a podcast. That could be cool.
Yeah, it's
I
funny. I've
don't know how
had
you'd
like so
implement
many ideas over the years, but like long form content is definitely like to get a bit real here is what pays the bills. It pays the team's bills, so I have to prioritize that.
No, I
But,
mean
like, I've had so
implement
many-
it into a video is what I mean. As I think, like when I don't know how you do it,
Gotcha.
but like in one of your story videos, like a talk show segment, and then like
A
you
radio
call the talk
host,
show,
yeah.
and then call the talk show like a radio host like Checkpoint Chats. That could be cool.
Gotcha.
I mean, like, just throwing ideas at you.
As I was gonna say, because I think my audience will be like really excited to hear something like this. One idea that I've always had that I've just never had the
okay.
time to do is do like a checkpoint themed like D&D campaign, because it may not look like it on the surface, but behind the scenes we've got a lot of like lore written for the characters of our channel. There's lots of like, we've got a brand bible, we've got like lots of internal documents for like how everything is like stitched together in like the world of Checkpoint. It'd be so cool to do like a custom D&D like campaign in like the theme of Checkpoint and just like put it out somehow. I think that'd be really cool. Like keeping everything with like the same style as the channel, because I always think there's like two sides to my audience. One side is the one that's like, they watch my videos, they really like them, but they're not that interested in like the lore and stuff. They just want funny videos, fun Minecraft videos. That's great. And I love both parts of my audience equally, but there's also like diehard fans that are like, hey, in this video, Austin, who's one of the characters, said he likes ketchup, but in this video 2 years ago, they said they don't like ketchup. What's going on there? And it's like, you can't please everyone, but like
Opinions
that kind of
can
thing.
change. Whoa.
I think it'd be really cool to like, do something like that for those
It does
hardcore
sound
audience
sick.
members.
Yeah, you got to. It's just a lot of effort. That's the problem. A lot of time and effort.
Yeah, exactly. And it probably wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be doing it for any like financial gain or anything like that. It would not make money, but it'd just be fun to do. So lots of stuff like that just float around in my head. Not a lot of time to do it.
Sorry to refer to like another content creators podcast, but it's leading into a point here. I remember when I was talking to SB about it, and we was having a little chat, and we was just saying like you get to a stage where like you'd like I'm lucky with InsideMC where I don't rely on it as an income. Like I'd love to this be a full-time gig, right? And I know how I could. There's like certain aspects that I could change, and I could make the podcast a bit more thing and blah 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 to make it full-time. But like I'm happy with the way I do it. It's casual, it's nice, this is what I like, right? But once you get to a certain point where like YouTube is paying your bills regardless, and it's like actually funding everything, I think you have to be so thingy about like the content you make, which is again this is leading into the question, as you can probably relate, like that's something you'd love to do, but then if you put all this time and effort into it, and it just I know you said you wouldn't be doing it for financial gain, but the point is still there, right? If you put all this time and effort into it, and then it just doesn't pay nearly as much as like it could be paying, it's like damn, like that's all that time lost. And now like because YouTube finances is so hit and miss. Like I used to experience it with Insane Orbits. Like when I was working at my first job where I met my partner, like 1 month I remember pulling in like £400, and the next month I pulled in £50 just because of uploading. And it's like because I just couldn't be bothered to upload, which is again it's my own fault, but the point is still there. So like do you ever feel that like there's a few ideas that you'd love to implement, but you're just like I just can't do it because it's just not guaranteed success?
Yeah, I mean, I do that kind of thing all the time where I come up with an idea, I try it out, and then I'm like, I shouldn't do this because I'm not going in. I like to call it creating with intention. I'm not like creating with intention. I'm not going in with a strategy. For example, and this will be fully transparent, the Roblox channel, fun idea, and it is coming back. If any of my viewers are watching, it is coming back. It's on hold right now, but when it comes back, it'll come back with a strategy, and it won't just come back with me and my friends just vibing, playing Roblox for like an hour or two. You know what I mean? Like because everything on YouTube right now, you can call it the beastification of YouTube. You can call it whatever you want. Everything is strategic. Even in my long form content, like the way I deliver information, how long my scenes are, it's all it's a strategy. There's a strategy behind it. And go in with like a new project, for example, as I said, the Roblox channel, and just say, hey, let's implement no strategy here. Let's just play Roblox and hope people enjoy it. Like, it'll feel fun for a bit, but then when you look at the stats and you go into the finer details of things, you realize that if you want to succeed on YouTube, you have to go in with like intention and strategy. There's many layers to it. You can put as many characters in as you want. You can lengthen your dialogue. You can shorten your dialogue. You can use B-roll. You can not use B-roll. But at the end of the day, you've got to be doing it all with intention, and have an actual strategy behind it, or else you're just basically shooting in the dark. And when you get to a level where you've got, people working for you and helping you on your project, like God bless them, you've got to make sure that you're, providing for them essentially. But yeah.
What about the flip side? Have you ever uploaded a video that you just didn't like expect to do well, or like you'd hope to it would do well, but it just did so much better than you thought?
Bro, all the time. And then it changes the entire like direction, I guess, of the channel, like at least in the short term. Like I can't think of a video specifically. There was one on the Roblox channel that was like, it was hell to record. Like, it was horrible. Like, when we were recording it, the game wasn't working. We were getting frustrated. And then we uploaded it. Like, we managed to get the editor to stitch something like legible together. And it literally was like 1 out of 10 for that like month. And it was like, well, there we go. I guess we know nothing. So there's plenty of like, occasions of the flip side. And I'm sure it's happened multiple times on the Minecraft channel as well, on the long form channel. So yeah, definitely experienced that before.
What got you into Minecraft in the first place? So, like, having a look through your channel here and previously, you did a lot of like variety content. I have someone who helps me do research. Their name is Roman. They found, like, for example, that you did like quite a lot of RuneScape content, but now you're very, very focused on Minecraft. So why did the switch come?
Oh man, I'll go from the beginning if that's okay. It's a very long time ago, but I'll go right from the beginning.
You got plenty.
So obviously I mentioned that I had like previous channels before this one, and all of those like fizzled out. They were never anything serious. And this, I mean, Checkpoint wasn't ever supposed to be anything serious. Started Checkpoint with a friend around the time I was at university. So like, well, just before university actually. So like 16, 17, that age. Again, didn't tell anyone about it. Started off as kind of like I was really into like news channels for some reason at the time. Like, this sounds gross to say now, but like IGN and like Polygon and that kind of thing. I wanted to be like a news outlet, which is really weird because I have no interest in that now. But basically I wanted to do that for gaming videos. And so it was a real mix because, when you start YouTube at first, you basically upload whatever you want. So I was more focused on that side of things. And my friend at the time, Kieran, who I'm still friends with today, and I actually live coincidentally quite close to him now. Like, it was funny, like I already mentioned to you before the podcast that I'm from the north of the UK. He was always from the south. He hasn't moved, and like 12 years later, here I am, like literally like 20 minutes away from him. Anyway, we worked on this together. He was more of like the RuneScape person, because he really liked RuneScape, I guess, and I was more doing other stuff. And then when it came time to go to like university and stuff, he was like, hey, I don't have enough time to do this anymore. You can have the channel, do this whole full, for yourself, do whatever you want with it. So I was like, great. And yeah, since then I started working on like my own content. And I believe after that whole weird period where I wanted to be a news media corporation for whatever reason, I moved into more like, I can't remember, I always forget which phase comes first, if it was the indie games or like VR, but I moved into one of them. And you'll notice this is going to be a story like throughout my entire career on YouTube, is that I always change up what I'm doing and I always shift what market I'm focusing on. I think I did indie games for a bit because back then it was more like you're not going to get hits or views or whatever with like GTA content or Minecraft content because the games are just oversaturated. They're just too big and there's no way you can like compete. So I focused on like smaller games, like indie games. Like, there was a very popular game at the time called Hello Neighbor, which was a bad game. It was very glitchy, very broken, but kids loved it. So I did Hello Neighbor, I did Bendy and the Ink Machine, I did that kind of thing. And after a while, I think this was around the time I had maybe like 10,000 subscribers or something like that. So built up a lot of that during like indie games and stuff. And sorry if I'm waffling, by the way. I know I said I was going to go from the beginning, but there is a long story behind this.
It's your turn, don't worry.
So yeah, moved from indie games over to VR. Did VR for a bit because VR was popping at the time. It's not anymore, but VR back then was like, it was totally new. It was like people were making like getting a lot of views with that kind of content just because VR was so like unheard of. And then eventually when that started to flatten out, I did a bit of indie again, kind of went and did like stuff like Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, that kind of thing, which did really well. But then it got to a point where I knew that, and I was doing it like full-ish time at this point. It's a little tangent, but I'll just go into it. When me and my partner lived wherever we lived, I'm not going to dox myself. It was coming to the end of my time at university, which means no student loan. So I was like, hey, I'm going to have to like start making money, but we can't risk like the channel just dying, which it very much could have done at that time. So let's just get literally the worst apartment in the worst area, cheapest price, and let's just hope YouTube works out. Literally the next month I blow up, and now I'm stuck in this like terrible apartment in this terrible area of this place where I was staying. But I was making like enough to like live in one of the nicer areas. So I had to deal with that for like a year before we could move out. Just a little tangent there.
To step in here quickly, just sorry to add my 2 cents. I don't think that's horrible though, because like it's the same with me. Like we're in a position now where we live together, and it's really nice. Like I told you, my office is in my garden. It's a 2-bedroom like flat. Like it's kind of insane what we've got. Like it's really nice. But like on the flip side, could have moved out like 2 months, 3 months ago, but we chose to stay.
Right.
Like we had the money to do it. I think at the same time, like I get what you're saying. I completely agree. Like you're not wrong. On the flip side though, I bet like you saved a crap ton more money than you would have if you did live in the nice areas for that year.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. It was just more like, typical. We were worrying about money, and now we're not.
Two things can coexist. You can be like, oh crap, but also be like appreciative about it. That's why I was just adding my like part there.
Right, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, it was just more like, oh great, now we just made this big decision when we could have waited till like a month or so later, and whatever, it's fine. Anyway, so yeah, I was doing the indie game stuff, and I knew that if I wanted to like make this like a full-time thing, I need to target like a bigger market. And that's where like GTA and Minecraft came in. Did a mix of both for a bit. The reason I did those games is because I realized that I've got this audience for games like Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, for Bendy and the Ink Machine. If I can put those in like sandbox games, then I'm at least gonna like salvage part of my audience as I make that transition. So did that. Quickly blew up in GTA, followed that for a bit, mixing some Minecraft, and then yeah, we get to where we are now, which is and what's probably important to mention as well is that the story stuff like Guido and Steve and the dimensions and the multiverse and all that kind of thing, that was already in place as well. Like it wasn't like I was just like, oh, you know, here I am playing Bendy and the Ink Machine and now I'm doing this full like multiverse of characters and stuff. That was already building as well, which is, to be honest, it was almost like it was my way of having like a unique selling point, basically, because every channel needs one. Everyone needs like a unique selling point, whether it's your personality or something else that you do. Every channel needs one, and that was mine. And we can get into the whole like reason of why I did that like later on in the podcast and stuff, but that was building at the same time. And so when it came time to move into these bigger games, these bigger markets, I had a strategy for moving over, pretty smooth move over into those games, a pretty smooth transition. And then I think it was coming up to about 2 years ago now where I decided to put my full focus on Minecraft. Again, we can get into the reasons for that too. But yeah, that's the entire villain origin story, I guess, of Checkpoint and how we got to where we are in every market that we've been in. And I can say this now, I would not change a single like decision that I've made, because obviously it all turned out good for me in the end. Also, it was such a journey, you know, such a journey. It's been an absolute roller coaster. I've loved it. I've loved every second.
That's sweet. Oh,
this is my retirement speech. I'm out, guys.
You're done. Yeah.
Peace.
You're handing over the channel to your team, and that's it. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah. Well, that I do have like, you know, speaking on that, like I am getting older now. I'm 29, so I'm unk compared to some of these.
You are not old. Look at Hermitcraft people.
That's a good point. I'm sorry for any offense I've just caused, but you know, like at some point there's going to be an exit strategy, and I really want to build the channel to a point where where I can Doctor Who it, right? Where I regenerate and like a new actor comes in and plays Steve, and a new actor comes in and plays Guido, and then I'm out. You know what I mean? Like that's my dream, where like the brand lives on without me.
You're gonna Markiplier it.
Well, I don't. What does that mean? What does Markiplier it? Does he still upload his own?
Wait,
stuff?
no.
Is there a new Markiplier?
No, Matt Payet. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
I could map it at some point in the future, but that's not for a long time. and I'm still enjoying what I'm doing. But it's been a long ride, man, a long ride.
Yeah, you're only just getting there. Like I know you're big and famous and all that kind of jazz, but still, like you're still yet to hit your peak. Like I reckon you could get 10 mil.
Oh yeah, that's the goal, that's the dream. But like sometimes like when I look at, obviously because I'm in the YouTube space, I look at competitors, I look at other channels. These kids are like cracked. They're putting out content like so quickly, and I know it's not a quantity game, but like they're cracked out. And they're like utilizing AI and whatever and doing all kinds of nonsense and stuff. And it's just like, man, I've still got that like creative passion. And I love like the whole, like, I love being in the trenches with my team, you know what I mean? And working on like the project together rather than just being like, bam, 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 5 recordings a day, get them all out on 8 different channels, boom. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, maybe I'm just old fashioned.
I mean, that's like what I said earlier though. Like I've given people advice for YouTube videos, and then YouTube videos have gone on to get like 100,000 views and stuff like that. Like I know what I'm doing. I could very easily get loads of views and subscribers if I wanted to. Like I'm not oblivious to the fact. I'm not like some kind of YouTube guru, but like I am clued up enough to like, if I wanted to, I could start a new channel, do everything right, and then probably get like a lot of subscribers. But I wouldn't enjoy it, so I can't do it.
Yep.
That's why I stopped the Insane Orbits channel. Like it had so much potential. If I carried on doing, I've said this before, I started off with command block tutorials. I used to get like a crap ton of views. If I'd carried on doing those command block tutorials, right, I wouldn't be sitting here with you today, but I'd have over like I'd have a silver play button, and I'd be earning lots of money, right? And I know that for a fact. And that's not even egotistical. Like it's just the truth. But I didn't enjoy it. I stopped enjoying it, and then I moved into variety content, and then it was a long game because obviously moving all these big subscribers over, and then YouTube hinders you if you have subscribers but not views, blah 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 blah. Right? I struggled, but then I was able to then start getting lots of views on just the gameplay content. But then I didn't enjoy it, and this is the longest I've actually had a channel that I've enjoyed, and it doesn't do well, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing, so that's what matters. And I've got to talk to some really really cool people, including yourself. So
Yeah, I mean, when I mentioned before, like creating with intention, that doesn't just apply to like the intent to make money or get more views. Sometimes it's the intention to just have a happier personal life, and that's fine as well. That like they're both like equally important, sure.
Yeah, exactly. What year was it that you moved into Minecraft content creation? I'm sorry if you mentioned it within your talk there.
Gosh, maybe 2019 or something, 18.
Oh, so
but it's funny because I've played Minecraft for like years and years. I'm by no means an expert. Don't ask me like how to craft X thing. I haven't even killed the Ender Dragon once. Like, don't ask me this. But like I've been playing since like beta something or other. Like I was playing Minecraft before there was a hunger bar. So
maybe you are.
Maybe I am Unk. And I remember like when I first laid eyes upon Minecraft, it was at my friend's house. And he was showing me like Minecraft, the actual paid edition. There used to be on the Minecraft website like a free edition, which was basically just creative mode, but you were limited to like 8 blocks. It was like wood, stone, wooden planks, grass. And I just literally just played the free version. Like I don't even know what I did. Like I just walked around, built, I guess.
You might not be able to relate to this just because you are slightly older, which isn't a joke. Like I'm being serious when I say this. Can anybody listening, if you're listening to this, can anybody relate to so like when I was younger, I used to have this game on the Kindle. It was like a Minecraft like cops and robbers game. It wasn't officially Minecraft, but it was like Fiend in Minecraft. It was like there was like Hunger Games and it was cops and robbers and stuff like that. Can anybody around my age group relate to playing that?
On the Kindle? You can play games on the Kindle?
Yeah, I used to be able to play thing on the Kindle like with like other players. There's like this like cops and robbers game where you'd start off in prison, you had to make your way out, and as like obviously like me nowadays wouldn't be able to stand it, but like 10-year-old me or 12-year-old me or however old I was when Minecraft came out, mate, I was in my element.
Yeah, it's not familiar to me. I remember there was a lot of like back on the Xbox 360, there was a lot of like Minecraft rip-off. But I mean, obviously that was well before Minecraft was actually on the Xbox 360 or any Xbox platform at the time. Yeah, there was lots of rip-offs, and man, they were bad. They looked bad anyway. I never bought them, but they look poor.
When a few little notes I have here is I mentioned it there earlier. Apparently, you used to be very big on RuneScape.
Yeah, so that was more Kieran. To be honest.
Oh, oops, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all good. So Kieran, who was my friend that I said that we split apart, he was big into RuneScape, and I remember back then I was so like envious because I was making my content on like I can't remember what it was, like Call of Duty or something, or just general gaming news. Because that's how I like got my interest in YouTube, was like Call of Duty, which is funny because a lot of content creators of a certain age, like myself, like Preston, like other people like that, are all like we all came from that. But I remember I was so envious because like Kieran used to put up these guides and get like so many, well, at the time, so many views, like 100,000 views, tens of thousands of views. And I was just like, man, I don't care about my content. But yeah, that was the thing. He got a lot of there was a lot of drama at the time. Like he forgot to mention that you had to bring a certain item on this raid in RuneScape or something like that, and he got loads of hate comments. It was it was a fun time for sure.
Why did and like just this is more for a timestamp here, because I believe you did mention it like in that little talk there. Why did the channel split?
It was purely a time thing. So Kieran was more like, we were both going to university, and he was like, look, this is a good time. I'm gonna go do my own thing. I'm not really interested in making YouTube videos anymore. I was more like, hey, I do want to keep doing this, and I want to like, at the time there was no like thoughts of like, Steve and Guido and the multiverse and that kind of thing. It was just more like, hey, I want to keep like playing games and recording them. I find it fun. You mentioned before, like having a side hustle kind of deal while you're going to university was good by me. So that's what I did.
What did you study?
I did PR and journalism. Both of them.
Very clued up on saying the right things to the podcast, then, are you?
Yeah, that's how I got this sweet spot as guest number 184 on the podcast.
Yeah, the biggest spot. Did you do any research on the podcast or no?
I watched a few of them, mainly of creators that I know personally, like Rye Guy. Met Rye Guy just last month when I was out in Dallas. Such a cool guy. Jake, obviously, my Jakey who works with me. Watched that, see if he said anything bad about me, but I think it was before checkpoints were all good. But yeah, I watched a couple of them. I enjoyed them as well. I enjoyed like the format and stuff like that. Had them on in the background while I was doing my work and stuff. So yeah, I did a little bit of research. Knew there was a fun fact question coming, so I made sure to like think hard before I made sure I had a fun fact, and that's literally the only one I could think of. So
you were so prepared.
Yeah, I was ready.
But in Roman's research here, they have that you joined the Yogscast for a little bit.
Yeah, very brief period. This was just before COVID. So what is that, like 2019?
When you got into Minecraft content, actually.
Yeah. So this was, I think it was it during Minecraft? Yeah, it was GTA Minecraft, and I joined them for a very brief period of time, for probably about a year, maybe 2 years. Great guys, amazing guys. I love the Yogscast guys. Like I bumped into them, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, when we were both at like an event at the YouTube offices. Such cool guys, and like they are actually one of like the main reasons why I do the content I do, the very storytelling focused stuff. Just things like Shadow of Israfel. That same friend that introduced me to Minecraft showed me the very first Yogscast video that I watched, which was the Survival Island series. Absolutely loved it. Binged their content so much back then. Yeah, got an opportunity to join them. Did a couple of jingle jams. And then it just got to a point where, okay, it was a mutual like splitting, and there's no bad blood at all, because I don't want it to come across like, we had a big argument and fell out and stuff. We just decided that like we were just in two different directions. I'm a very family-friendly content creator. They're not very family-friendly. They're more stream-focused. I'm more long-form video-focused. And it just didn't feel like a match. And plus, I think back then I was thinking a lot about Checkpoint as the brand as well, and I still am, of course, but I want to make sure that Checkpoint can stand alone. Like, I don't want it to be like, this sounds ridiculous, but like Yogscast presents Checkpoint, or whoever presents Checkpoint, InsideMC presents Checkpoint. Like, I don't want that to ever be like some kind of like third party that also, it's like working under the umbrella of something.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah,
I want it to be like its own standalone thing. And I want it to be like as unique and by itself as possible almost. It's one of the reasons I don't do a lot of like collaborations. I don't do any like, I'll send lines out to other YouTubers if they want like voice lines for me to appear in a video. That's fine and stuff, but I'm never gonna like jump in someone else's recording unless I can stay like in character, or unless, Mr. Beast comes along for like a gaming video, which I did one time. Because I really wanted to be in it. Like, I'm never gonna appear in like a position where I'm not in character unless it's something like informative, like a podcast, or it's like a cool opportunity. Just because that's what works for me. So yeah, getting back to the question. Love the Yogscast guys, absolutely love them. Like, one of my favorite moments when I was back then, and I visited their office for the Jingle Jam, I'd seen like Simon and Lewis like separately, chatted to them separately. I finally like saw them together, and it was like I was having like a live Yogscast video like in front of me. It was crazy. It just blew my mind a little at the time. But yeah, absolutely love those guys, and very happy with the time we did spend together.
Yeah, so I was gonna say you took part in Jingle Jam stuff as well, which is very cool.
Yeah. Showed up for a couple of those, and yeah, I love helping those guys. I still like try to donate like whenever the Jingle Jam rolls around. Another one's coming very soon, so yeah, looking forward to that. You guys listening should definitely check it out if you're not clued up. They do really, really good stuff for some really great causes.
I get Roof on. They work with Jingle Jam every single year. I got them on in 2023. No, I got them on in 2024. Sorry, no, yeah, I got them on in 2023, 2024, and I plan to get them on again this year. So it's become like a yearly tradition now, just to repeat the same thing over and over again every single year. It's great.
Yeah.
Asked the exact same questions, said the exact same answers. No, but I get what you mean about the whole umbrella thing though, because so I've partnered with a Minecraft event called Cube Championships, and I've also partnered with a studios called Gummy Studios, like where they make movies and stuff like that. And like I kind of made sure, like, not made sure, but like I requested it to be like kind of under my umbrella, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So like it's it's a mutual collaboration. Like they do things for me and I do things for them. But overall, like it's not InsideMC owns Cube Champs, but it's like Cube Champs is under the InsideMC brand. Like they still own it. It's still theirs, but like it's not. InsideMC isn't under the Cube Championship brand, basically.
Yeah. I mean, like to bring it to like into my context, like when I'm working on like brand deals, or if anyone wants to work with me and stuff, I make sure I have like full IP control, because at any point, like if I lose that, then I've lost like Checkpoint, right? Like I can't make the decisions I want to make with it. I can't, if I want to I don't know, change the logo or something, or introduce a new character, or do something differently, like I won't be able to do that unless I fully own the IP. So that's something I keep in my mind at all times whenever I'm speaking to any brand or any person associated with a brand, is just keep IP rights, because you never know what like path that's going to lead you down.
Oh yeah, no, I said like absolutely everything is yours. I just want you to promote InsideMC during the event. I'll promote like your thing on the outsides, and I also just want to say on who gets invited to the event.
Exactly.
Because like if
you
it's
don't want to get,
I
was just going to say you don't want to get to a point where you have like no say who comes onto the podcast or whatever, or like that is associated with your brand.
The podcast will always get a thing. It's just like there's a few people like who. I mean, it's the same with everyone. There's just people who I just don't think would be a good fit for the event. Not because they're horrible people, or like, well, in some cases, yes. But like, so I just say to them, like, whenever that comes around, like, if you like give me names first, I can say no to people, because at the end of the day, if InsideMC is officially partnered with them, and you invite someone who like people know I don't associate with for certain reasons, and they turn around and be like, oh, but they're in that event, it's like, oh, what? So, it's just something similar to that.
Yeah, I understand.
I think it's time we address the elephant in the room.
Oh gosh, is there? There's an elephant here?
There is an elephant.
You're gonna add that into like the 3D animation now? I'm gonna give you more work. You're gonna have a 3D animated elephant walk onto the screen.
No, Rory Animates does the loop animation for like 1 minute, and I just copy and paste it throughout the entire
Not edit. This time, my friend. Not this time.
No, yes, this time.
I'll be very disappointed.
No, Rory Animates is very kind to me, and he's already exported it anyway, so
gotcha.
Too bad. You have a series, or like a little like character thing, right? You've been kind of mentioning it a few times here.
We talking about Guido? Talking about a character, or are we talking about a series in particular?
Yeah, your little series is kind of your whole like branding, right?
Okay,
it's kind of what you advertise as. If I look at your
so just the general like checkpointy stuff, right? That's why we
refer
to it.
I was trying to be silly, goofy. In your Twitter bio, it says gaming series about a boy and his robot. There we go. I just thought you and Guido, right? I'll just be straight up with it. So like for the timestamp here to speak specifically about this, why did it come to be? What exactly is it, for anyone curious, and how long has it been going on for?
Oh man, well, it's been. I can't pick an exact time when I started doing it. Probably around like maybe 2014, 15, something like that, laying the seeds of it. The reason I started doing it, and this is going to be weird because it's going to get like weirdly personal, so bear with me here, okay?
Here we go.
When I was growing up, I lived in like, I know I've already said multiple times, oh, I've lived in the worst place, blah, 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 blah. I lived in like the worst place to live in the UK, like very poor, like my parents did not have a lot of money, my mum did not have a lot of money. Literal, like, as gross as it sounds, share bathwater with the siblings, like that kind of thing. It was nasty. And it was an equally dangerous area to like live in. Like you'd go outside, there'd be like, if you're from the UK, you know what chavs are. There'd be chavs everywhere. Okay. And it was not like a safe place for like a child to grow up in. So I spent a lot of time playing video games, watching TV. And what do video games have, especially back then, more so back then? it's like your own little world that you can escape to, right? So I'm talking games like Super Mario Galaxy, where every world is like different and your imagination can like run wild. Even games like, you know, first person shooters, they're all their own little universe with their own little, you know, characters and backstory and lore and that kind of thing. And so I was really inspired by that because as I grew older and I managed to get, you know, myself and my family into more like stable positions and stuff like that, you know, they moved out the area, which was great. I wanted to make sure that if I was doing this content, I wanted to do it for a good cause, essentially. I wanted to provide that same level of escapism for, you know, another kid that might be in that position, or like in any position where they're, you know, they're not feeling happy. I want to make sure they have something to escape to. And so I started to devise, like, as we mentioned, like having a unique selling point. That unique selling point was to play a character in the videos and also have like another character with me. And it kind of escalated because at first it started off as like, oh, wouldn't it be cute if these two characters were like experiencing video games together? And then it was like, it kind of took that next step and it was like, what if we started treating every game like it was like its own separate world, if it was its own dimension, as we call them, and it was in this big, greater like world of things. So like there was multiple dimensions. There's the Minecraft dimension, there's the GTA dimension, there's the Roblox dimension. And what if these two characters traveled to each one and like solve problems for the people that live there, like the NPCs, I guess. And then it went from there to like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if there was like a villain? And wouldn't it be fun if like there was a character that was, you know, a big fanboy of Steve and he had like a guardian? And it kind of just like kept stepping up from there. And it's kind of got to this point where, yeah, it's, as I've said before, it's a balance, right? It's a balance between providing this kind of like content for kids in those positions or anyone that enjoys the content. It's like a balance between going super lore heavy or super like, you know, hey, I just want to watch a fun Minecraft video. Like you've got to appeal to both sides. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, probably started around like 2014 time, and has just evolved over time to what it is now, which is fully character based. I'm always in character when I'm doing recordings. You won't hear me talking like this, like in the actual recordings. I dial it up to 11, and I just try to make it so that the audience can be fully immersed in this video. And if that means focusing way more on music or sound effects or that kind of thing, anything to have them like fully forget about what's going on in their life, or just, you know, if they just want a fun Minecraft video, like anything to do that, that's what we're focusing on right now.
Oh.
And that's the answer. That's the long spiel answer to your question. And of course, there's like other influences like Adventure Time as well, for like the general like theme of things. I love Adventure Time, SpongeBob, just those shows that I was watching growing up and those games that I was playing growing up that provided me that escape. I want to do that for like, I want to do it for the kids.
Can be Minecraft or not Minecraft. It doesn't really matter. What have been some of your favorite ever videos from this like little kind of, I guess, character, like with this character?
Okay, if you're gonna watch a checkpoint video, watch the story of it's either the first giant or the last giant. I think it's Minecraft: The Story of the Last Giant, or the story of the last giant in Minecraft. We put so much effort into that video, and it is so good. Like that's the video I'm by far the most proud of. I would also advise watching. Let me think if there's any GTA videos that I really like doing. I think there's some animated stuff there as well, like our Battle of the Multiverse video, which was our 1 million subscriber special. Watch that as well, for sure, because that's just like fully, you know, just purely the characters. We did a Christmas song one year. It's funny because I mentioned like things evolving over time. So Guido, my robotic companion, at one point he was basically just like a 2D asset that popped up on the screen, did a little voice, said, oh, this is a funny situation we found ourselves in, Steve, slides off. But now he's much more, as in like within like the past 2 years, he's become much more involved. So in any like Minecraft video, if Steve is in a situation where he's been pushed into, and it's funny because you'll recognize this a lot with me. I speak about myself in third person a lot because we've got like my name is the same as the character's name. So Steve is in a position where he's like fallen to the bottom of a pit and he needs a way out. Guido can transform into like anything. So he can turn into a ladder and help me fly up. He can turn it and climb up. He can turn into a hoverboard, help me fly up. And I think that's really what sets our characters apart from other Minecraft content with characters, because they really, Guido specifically, becomes very much like a tool that I can use. Like I've had him turn into like tanks. I've had him turn into bulldozers. I think he's been a fighter jet at one point. I think he's been a dragon. And we have a really great like modeling team, so super talented that just like anything I want, I'm in a really great position where I can say, hey, I want Guido to turn into a nuclear submarine, and they'll like do their best to make the submarine, a transformation and stuff like that. And
That's insane.
Yeah. So any stuff with Guido in it, Guido focused things, always a fun time to watch. At least I think so. I hope it is.
What about non-Guido focused videos? It can be
Oh,
this
that's
can
the
be
thing.
all time, by the way. It doesn't even have to be videos that have done well. It can be just videos that like.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm thinking of, because Steve and Guido are kind of like integral to like every video.
Oh, okay,
I
that's
try to
fine
make
then.
sure.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I tried to make sure. There is one on the Roblox channel, the very first Roblox video we did, which was the climbing the largest mountain in Roblox. Me, my friend Chris, and Austin, who were also characters on the in the series, we're basically just goofing around climbing a mountain. And it's just a fun time. It's probably the best balance between us acting like we are in real life and us acting like we are like in character. So if you want something a bit less story heavy, a bit less, checkpointy, then I'd definitely go watch that one. Yeah.
No, that's a good answer. I like that.
Yeah, I tried to give as many options as possible because there's a lot of videos. There is a lot of video to go through.
What is your favorite part of Minecraft's content as a whole? Because obviously you've got to enjoy it because it's your main source of content and stuff like that. What exactly about the game, aside from like your series and all that kind of jazz, do you enjoy?
I love that if I want to like make a scene and have like, a certain building or a location or like even a character wearing a certain outfit, it's all possible. Like when I did like mainly, it was kind of like 60-40, 70-30 GTA as opposed to Minecraft. When I was on that, it was a bit harder because obviously GTA has like a preset map, right? Like if I want to say, hey, we're going to a wizard school in GTA, then I have to basically pretend something's a wizard school. Whereas in Minecraft, I can just have my team make a wizard school. It's just that flexibility of like the sandbox. Like I can make literally any story that I want to through the medium of Minecraft, whether that's by builds, commands, mods, like it's all possible. The Guido nuclear submarine is a thing in Minecraft. It can only be a thing in Minecraft. That being said, again, this is another Steve future plan things, which I'm hoping to get to at some point when I have more time. But like doing variety content is something I want to go back to on a separate channel. But again, I want to create with intention. I want to go in with a strategy. I don't want to go in and just vibe out and just play whatever I want because no one's going to want to watch that. You may think you will, but no one will want to watch that.
Yeah, deep down.
So yeah, well, it's more like on YouTube, you've got to appeal to your core audience, of course, but you've also got to be attracting new audience members. And that's something I'm always trying to find the balance between, is making sure that the audience that I've got right now are happy, but also welcoming in new audience members, making sure that they're all ready to go and enjoying the content as well.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, with that, I think we've done a pretty good job of covering everything. Is there anything that you thought I was going to bring up that we didn't, or have we done a pretty good job of talking about everything?
Yeah, I mean, I know you put the tweet up. I don't know if there are any like fan questions. Or
anything.
Yeah.
We'll get to those in a second. I always like to say this part and see if you had anything else you wanted to talk about before we get to the Twitter questions.
No, not particularly. I mean, I guess what I'll say now is that, we're always looking. This seems like an advertisement, but we're always looking for like Minecraft smarty pants because, as I've already said, never killed the Ender Dragon. So if anyone out there really knows Minecraft, knows commands, data packs, knows, development stuff, even production stuff, has connections, let me know. Hit me up.
I mean, you clearly need an ideas manager, so why don't you get me up? Hit me up. So I've already advertised Checkpoint chats.
Yeah, I'm taking that one for free. So
gosh.
You've given away your most valuable secrets. They're mine now.
It's a trade. You come on a podcast, I give you advice. It's great.
But yeah, I know that your audience is. I know your audience are Minecraft fanatics and stuff like that. So yeah, if you know stuff about Minecraft, let me pick your brains.
Yeah, there you go. See, go check out Checkpoint's channel. It sounds like I'm doing the outro now. We're gonna move into the Twitter questions, but yeah, go check out the channel regardless. We'll do the little promotion at the end. So
okay, sounds good.
Right, Twitter questions. So out of nowhere, right? It just it got a crap ton of replies. And then I go to your YouTube page and I'm like, oh crap, your post got 1.3 thousand likes.
Yeah.
So that would explain.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. So let's ask some questions. I never read them beforehand, so I'm reading them at the same time here as I ask them.
Oh gosh.
So the first question here is a two-parter. So the first one comes from Bumpy Jake. Who is your favorite production manager? There is a right answer, and it is not Tufion. And then the second question comes from Tufion. Who is your favorite production manager? There is a right answer, and it's not Bumpy Jake.
Man, the kids are fighting again. It's like asking me which is my favorite child. I like
neither.
I like whichever production manager is helping me out the most and not being sassy. How about that?
Yeah, that's a
Because
good
these guys
answer.
are sassy. Let me tell you, these guys are. I don't know who they think they are, man. Honestly,
Yeah, fair
they
enough.
sass me a lot. So listen, we'll review this at the end of next week, and we'll see who's been nicer to me, and then I'll go from there.
Nice, good answer.
Mhm.
The next one is also from Shauna Jade saying there's not really a question. It just said my boss and a bunch of question marks. I really didn't realize how involved you were. Like I don't really like talk to. I'm gonna say like we're best friends and I talk to him loads. But I'm quite shocked at how involved you are with like some of the people I've interacted with. That's kind of insane.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of people that are in, as I said, like more closely related to your circle. Shauna does like body acting stuff. So if we have a character and we don't have enough people on hand, then Shauna can step in and play that character for a quick scene or two. So yeah, I like Shauna. Shauna's one that I'm not like let's review the next week. I'm always down for some Shauna. So yeah, shout outs to Shauna, the best.
We covered this one earlier, but I'm asking it again anyways. This one's from Mr. Weirdo. Will he ever go back to streaming on Twitch?
Ah, man. Yeah. I mean, I will stream at some point. Might not be on Twitch. Might be on Twitch. It's just a question of time, Mr. Weirdo, honestly. Yeah. I mean, when I get the time, I will do something more behind the curtain-y, more, casual and stuff like that. Just finding the time. Hey, ask Bumpy Jake and Fee about that. That'll get to them. Your Fee and Jake, when you're watching this, you're preventing Mr. Weirdo from enjoying some live streams. So make sure we get those recording times down. Thank you. Right, sorry to get a bit too personal and worky there, guys. Yeah, that was Boss Steve coming out. So yeah.
The next one comes from Potato Kid Yum.
Mm-hmm.
Hey there, first I just wanted to say how much I love the lore you've written for your channel. And second, out of all the characters in the Checkpoint verse, which are your favourite? And you are not allowed to give the easy answer.
I don't know me?
Well, obviously, either yourself or Greedo are obvious answers.
Yeah. Also Mesa as well, who's like our villain. He's like he counts as me. I don't
know. Like that can count because I mean, you advertise it as a man and his boy, right? And he's a robot. Sorry, right? Mm-hmm. That's why like you can give the two people you advertise the entire thing as, but like the villain, you could choose that as an answer.
Yeah. So my main answer will be Mesa. I love writing for Mesa just because like villains are so cool. And especially when you get to write your own villain and have them come up with literally the most devious things possible. But like my kind of outside answer, which I don't think a lot of people will expect, but there's a character that we've got called Evil Face. He sounds lame, but he's like a mafia boss, right? And I always like writing for him because it allows me to like come up with some like stupid situations where Steve and Guido are like they're on the run and they think they're hiding somewhere safe, but it turns out to be like a mafia hideout or something, and it's Evil Face's gang are there and stuff like that, and they're just the most like absolutely treacherous like scum criminals. I really like Evil Face. I think it's because his name is Evil Face. It's just such a stupid name. But Evil Face is up there. Billy, who is like a bully character. For those videos, that's always fun. Again, because I can just make him as mischievous and nasty as possible. I think I just like really hurting my own character's feelings. I think that's where we're going with this. I just like anyone that's mean to my character.
Nice.
But yeah, I love them all equally. I love writing for all of them equally. But yeah, I'd give it to those two as like my standouts for sure. Yeah.
The next one comes from Ejaza 2012 Sabellano. So are there going to be new characters from you, or is there going to be concept characters from fans?
Okay, yeah. So in terms of new characters from me, I'm always like thinking of new characters. It's just whether I can give them the screen time they deserve. One character that I've always like had in mind was we have this in a lot of our videos we have this city world which is called Cosmic Cove, which is where all the characters like hang out. It's for more videos where the background, like the backdrop of the video isn't necessarily like important. Like it can just be in this city or like the surrounding areas. And I've always thought of like a character which is basically like Mr. Krabs, where he's just the slimiest, like richest guy, and he would be like the mayor of Cosmic Cove. But he'd be like a massive coward. So like if Mesa came along and was like, hey, I'm going to destroy your entire city, he'd be like, okay, yeah, bet, just give me the money, and then he's out of there. So he'd be like more of a comedy character where he's like, he makes deals, like the wrong deals. He's super cowardly. He never takes responsibility. Steve always has to save him from like, scrapes with villains and stuff like that. I've always thought that character was really cool. In terms of concept characters from the audience, I'm always reading like comments, and I'm always reading like the Discord. If anyone can come up with one, which really excites me, like I'm down to take your idea. So yeah, I'd say get in the Discord and suggest got a concept character. I'm not going to guarantee that I'll ever put them in a video and stuff like that, but it's always fun to see ideas. We also have just go on a little tangent here on our website. We have a character creator, which is something that I'm really proud of. That's probably one of the proudest things I've ever made for Checkpoint, acting like I coded the thing. But we've got like a custom character creator. So you can always make a character there, send it along, give a little backstory, and yeah, really fun to see what the audience comes up with when it comes to that.
That's really cool, actually. Fair play.
Yeah, make yourself a character.
This one comes from YT Bob 01.
Okay.
Question for the Checkpoint lore. Who was the Cosmic King, and did he ever face a Chaos Demon?
I don't know what a Chaos Demon is, but the Cosmic King, I like to keep... So this is part of like the wider lore of Checkpoint. I like to keep those things close to my chest, just in case I ever bring them up again. You ever face a Chaos Demon? Unsure. Unsure about that. You'd have to ask him. Yeah, I guess the Cosmic King was just like before the Cosmic Princess. And I imagine this sounds like absolute like baloney to you, Orbits, right now. You're probably like, what the heck is he talking about?
I know all the lore. I've been watching you for years. What are you on about?
There are bios on the website as well.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. I've read everything.
So yeah, I guess he was like the supreme ruler before the Cosmic Princess. And if you look on the website bios, you'll see what happened to that poor man. So look into that if you're interested. Yeah.
This next one comes from the Castle Kitty.
Okay.
Every character in Checkpoint, fight to the death. Who wins?
Oh, that's such a good question. I mean, Guido could literally turn into a nuke, but let's just say he can't do that. We have a character called Arnetta, which is the strongest athlete in the multiverse. She's kind of like, fun fact, she's actually named after like Arnold Schwarzenegger, because obviously strong. So Arnetta, I'd probably say. She's known for being strong. Also Mesa as well. Mesa's, if you've seen that animation with Mesa and Steve brawling it out, you'll know that he can kick some butt. So either one of those two, I'd say.
No, there you go then. So that's all the questions. The rest of them we've pretty much answered throughout the podcast. I don't want to be repeating ourselves here, but
okay,
there we are.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Sounds good to me.
How was that?
Oh, that was wonderful. I really enjoyed it.
Before I do the outro here, I always like to give this opportunity for you to promote yourself. So for anyone who's listening to this podcast and has really enjoyed, but obviously doesn't know who you are or doesn't know where to find you, where can people find you?
YouTube.com/Checkpoint. I think we have that URL. Just search Checkpoint. You can do it. I believe in you. Checkpoint Steve on Twitter. Instagram. I'm really trying to use Instagram more, which if you go on my Instagram, you probably won't see that, but Checkpoint YT, I think it is, checkpoint.yt. I'm really trying to, in like this next year, put more content on there. Maybe more personal stuff like this, show my face a bit more, that kind of thing. So if you want to follow me on there, that'll be a fun journey to see how that goes. But otherwise, you don't have to do anything you don't wanna. Just listening this far is a good thing for me. I'm glad you made it. Subscribe to InsideMC for sure. You give him all the credit. I've just been yapping.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. You've been an absolutely amazing guest. And
yeah,
no problem. It's been amazing talking to you as well. So
yeah, anytime, man. Guest number 184, best guest. Everyone knows it. Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's been a great time.
No worries. With that being said, that sadly brings the end of this week's Inside MC. Thank you all for listening. Stay safe. Don't eat too much bread. Peaces.
Bye.